Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Minnesota Rackstars podcast, and we have a fun one for you guys. We are out doing our annual family, friends, Minnesota Rackstars shed hunt, and it's pretty exciting. We got a lot of kids out there, a lot of friends, a lot of family, and we ended up finding a bunch of sheds, and it's a pretty good podcast, to say the least. If you're not out there shed hunting, don't worry about it. There's still plenty of time. I remember one time I came back from college, and I think it was Easter break, and I still saw bucks running with antlers on. So don't panic. There's still plenty of time to get out there, but I highly encourage everyone to get out there. It's a great time to get outside with your kids, with your family, with whoever, to get out there and get a little exercise. So we're going to cut to the podcast here. I hope you guys are having a great start to the week here, and I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Hey, before we get started here, if you haven't already heard, we have started up our own apparel store online. So if you're looking to get some sweet Minnesota Rackstar apparel, some swag, you can check it out. It's on our Facebook page. We have the link on there. Also on our website, you can go and check that out. We have anything from hats, mugs, sweatpants, sweatshirts, T-shirts, you name it. It's pretty sweet. So hope you guys check it out, and let's get going with the podcast. All right, here we go. 2025, right? Shed hunt. We got the crew together here, and we're gonna go out and find some sheds. We're a little pregame party here. We got Mike, Travis, Pete, and Steve. Steve's already on the board. What was he doing, Travis, when he found it?
Now, what were you doing? Just driving through the hayfield, weren't you?
Yeah, by the road. I thought maybe we didn't see it. Somebody else was ready to and pick him up. So just checked along the road.
So he was by the road. Sure he was. Yeah, sure he was. What's it looking like this year, Travis? What's it looking like?
Pretty good. I think there's 3 really good bucks, I'd say, then handful decent ones and a whole pile of little dinks. But
Yep.
for it looks like most of them have dropped. At least the big ones definitely did. I haven't had them on camera. You can tell there's some bucks that shed that you can see. And actually, our biggest one, got a picture of him with one side on. It's just pretty cool picture and video.
Have you looked at the video yet of it? Of that buck with that one side on and the blood dripping off of him?
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Yeah. Is it video of it?
Yeah.
You do? Oh, sweet. I haven't seen the video. I've just seen the picture of it. But yeah, is he the biggest one or the second biggest one?
He's the biggest, yeah.
So he's out there. So we actually went out there already just kind of looking around for him, but there was a decent amount of snow on the ground yet, and there was nothing to be found, basically. But yeah, so now the snow is melted. It's kind of a spur of the moment throw-together party because this last week it hit 50 degrees, and the snow just disappeared. I mean, we had probably good 8 to 10 inches, probably, I would say, huh? But yeah, all of a sudden it disappeared, and the way the schedule's kind of lined up, and it's always difficult to get everyone here, but this weekend kind of worked out for us. Pete, what are you seeing on cameras right now? Have everything dropped up by your land, or what do you got?
Yeah, I'd say all my bucks dropped, I'd say almost a month and a half ago. I haven't had a single horn on camera, and I've been feeding up there all winter. Behind my house, they just dropped about 2 weeks ago, I'd say.
Really?
I had a bunch of big 8s that were on a couple weeks ago, and now I haven't seen anything out the back of my house. But yeah, you can see on trail camera too. You can see that they're bucks for sure that are feeding, and they've been off for a long time. So
a little Tweety bird told me the other day where I work that somebody near you found a shed, and it looks like a moose shed. How flat it is, like palmated.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, by chance it isn't this one here, is it? and I showed them the picture of the one that was kind of running around by your place that kind of get that weird rack.
Yep.
He goes, it kind of looks like that, but it's not that big, so it wasn't that shed. So you're still in luck. But, yeah, as soon as he said that, I was like, I wonder if that's that same buck Pete sent me a picture of, because he lives just right down the road from you. Mike, what's it looking like by your guys' properties?
Not much holding anymore. We had all of our smaller ones probably lost theirs I'd say probably like a month ago already. Sure. We do have one giant still holding. Never had him on camera throughout the year. I don't even know if we potentially have pictures of him in the past. Maybe there's a chance that he's one that I let go many years ago, but we'll never probably figure that out for sure. But he's a tank, and he's still holding both sides for sure. But we've been feeding them, and they're coming every day, 20, 30 deer in there. But yeah, he's got to drop them pretty quick.
Yeah, he's a magnum for sure. I mean, just mass all the way out to the end of the beams.
Yeah. Yep.
Just a tank. But you didn't have him on camera at all.
Not once this year.
Right.
Nope.
And you guys are throwing a little feed out there for him to keep him close?
Yep, we got some there right now, and been pretty consistent with that. And so he's been there over the last month. He's been there probably 3 weeks out of the last month, like a couple days a week there. So he's hanging around there for sure, and it's just a matter of seeing him on camera without him and getting in there. You know, you don't want to spook him, so haven't even touched that property at all. Haven't walked at all in there other than to drop some food in there, and that's about it.
So, Pete, let me ask you, because you're sitting there watching deer out your window, and all of a sudden, you know, when do you decide to go out looking for sheds behind your house? Like, what? There's got to be a strategy to keep you in the house, because otherwise you want to go. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'll go sometimes. Luckily, when it's right behind your house, you can walk out and go for a half hour during the middle of the day. But like the last month, you can't really go out there because I have 15 to 20 deer out my back door all day long now. So and it's pretty crazy because they must be sitting right inside the pines, because I literally took a new bale out there and I dumped it with the skid loader, and I walked in my garage and I looked out and there's 5 deer coming out, and I had 3 bucks within 2 hours that I've never seen out my back door. Really? From the first time I dropped that bale. So you tell me how that works, but it's pretty. They must literally sit there and watch you, because you can shut the garage door and they're coming out right away.
I know, Mark. I'll be sitting at home and all of a sudden my phone will ding, and there's Mark up north, you know, on our properties, and he's there. And I bet as soon as he drops the corn or the hay for him or whatever, it's within an hour and a half, and there's deer out there already.
Oh yeah. Know? Yep. Last year when we were feeding up in Hillman, we had all that snow, and I took the skid loader up and I drove 100 yards away and parked in the field, shut it off, and we had 20 deer out right away. Yeah. And I was still sitting in the skid loader.
They know what's going on.
Well, and they're just so hungry this time of the year that they're going to go to the easiest food source.
And this year, you know, we did have a decent amount of snow, but you know, as far as cold goes, there's just been like a week and a half where it gets really cold, and then all of a sudden it's pretty warm again, and then all of a sudden a week again where it's cold. So I think personally, I mean, it won't be as good of a growing year as it was last year, but I think this year will still be pretty good.
I think it's still going to be pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Travis, what's your strategy for not going out whipping around looking for sheds all the time until they fall off? What goes through your mind?
Work, just try to think of stuff to do so I don't go out there. It's tough, I'm not going to lie. Actually, I have been going a little bit, but it's been poor until this week, just the snow and the cold. And it is fun getting the kids out there to find them. It is nice to find a couple that you know, so we guarantee to find some, but it's it's definitely funner when you get everyone out there. That's why we kind of pushed to do this a little bit earlier too, I think, just so we can get. Then I got open reins to everything after today.
Mark was texting me, or he sent out a group Snapchat saying, why don't we go next weekend? It'll be a little warmer. And I'm like, Mark, there's a reason why we're going this weekend. I have off. There's no snow on the ground. It's melted. And if we can't do it this weekend, I know for myself, I'm not going to be able to go till later on. I know we wanted Josh here this weekend, but I think our plan is to kind of leave an area for Josh and his family to come out, and they can kind of go around. If anyone wants to come back out, we can come back out again. But I told Mark, I said, once we do this shed hunt, Steve and Travis don't got to be held back the whole time. They can go whenever they want now. So they're sitting there, and I know they want to go out there bad. And just like you said, Pete, you can just sneak out there every now and then. These guys can too. But once we get this taken care of, and like you said, we appreciate you guys waiting this long, so that like you said, the kids can get out there and enjoy it and have a lot of fun with it. Because I'll tell you what, one of the greatest memories I have is when we went out and I brought Harper with, and I threw her on my back when she was younger, and we walked, about 1.5 miles or so, and eventually found, the big one we were looking for. But that's a memory that'll always stick with me. And then even like for Harper, we watch that video probably once every 2 weeks. She wants to watch it. But and especially for these young kids growing up, introducing them and showing them what it's all about. And the more you have them around this stuff, the more they're going to enjoy it and the more fun they're going to have and build those memories. And that's what it's about, essentially, I know, Pete, you said since the last shed hunt we had, your kids have been calling you a name.
Yeah, they've been looking for Shorty Gertz the whole time, all the time.
That was the name of one of the bucks we had last year. That's one area I slacked on this year. We have our most wanted list. However, I didn't throw names on there, and I thought about maybe doing a little challenge at the end. People can come up with a name or something. Maybe somebody gets a prize for the most creative name that we have out there or something. The other thing, too, is usually I contact all of our partners, prior to our shed hunt, and they've always been really generous to us, donating prizes for the kids and everyone who finds sheds and giving us stickers. The kids enjoy the stickers and whatnot, and I didn't have a chance to contact them, so I stopped at our local hardware store, and Sean was able to help us out with some Domain product here in Piers. He's a distributor and a salesman for Domain there at the store. So if you're looking for some Domain products, they're put it this way, their shelves are fully stacked with Domain mineral, seed, blocks, you name it. They got it loaded. So I stopped there and grabbed some because it's always fun getting some gifts for everybody to come out here and spice up the pot a little bit, if you will. So I don't know. I guess we have the scoring system here. I had to adjust it from last year because some people were able to find some loopholes here in the scoring system. One of them meaning one of the points was like 2 points for a turkey feather. Well, somebody found a dead turkey and they plucked all the feathers off the turkey, so they ended up with like 300 points or something. So I adjusted that a little bit. So our point system goes, the highest point you can get is 20 points. And that is a shed that Steve and Travis have no clue about. They've never seen the buck. That's a surprise the hell out of Travis shed. That'll be worth 20. The first shed of the day is going to be worth 12 points. People need to take a picture of it, so we have a timestamp on it. I know we got a big group Snapchat that we share videos and photos of, but 12 points for the first shed found. If you find a shed from the previous year, it'll be 11 points. I think that should be worth a decent amount of points, being for how much we've been out looking for it. If you find a drop tine, it has to be a legal point. Can't just be a little bump on the bottom side of the main beam. That's going to be worth 10 points. If you find a match set, that'll be worth 10 points, and that's just the combined. You can't get double points there. And then it's just going to go 6 point on one side plus, worth 9. A spike with no brow. There are spikes out there with no brow tines. That's going to be worth 8. A 2-pointer is worth 7. A 3-pointer is worth 6. 4-pointer worth 5. A 5-pointer worth 4. A deadhead. It has to be a legal buck. The pitcher will work. You don't have to take it with you. That is worth 3 points. Pete, I switched this one up from last year because we kind of got screwed over a little bit. All right. We found a really nice shed. It was a shed from the previous year, and it was a really good shed. However, it was a deduction for every chew mark on the shed. I switched that a little this year. I said this year it's just if there's any chew mark on the shed, you were just subtracting 1 point. It's not a 1 point for every chew mark.
We did talk about leaving it there.
Yep. It was a big one, but we were all in on just leaving it lay out there because we didn't want to be docked. As far as miscellaneous goes, the best video of someone finding a shed and interview is going to be worth 10 points. There are arrows out there, so if somebody finds an arrow, that's worth 2 points. Best cell phone picture with the shed will be worth 5 points. Kaylee will be the judge of that. And if you find a shell casing, that'll be worth 3 points. Travis, like I said, there are some arrows out there. Some arrows are claimed, some are not. What's your thoughts on that? First of all, some of the arrows that are claimed, are there arrows that are claimed?
I don't know. I know where one is that's out of a crossbow, and I don't know anyone that shoots with a crossbow out here. So that one is not.
It's a random.
Yeah.
Or no one wants to admit that they shot that one with that crossbow.
And for some reason, it's about 80 yards off the road. So
Interesting. Yeah, so there are a couple arrows out there. Now, the other thing, too, is, there's these things that are out there on the market now called cell cameras. And we continue to leave those run, until we're pretty confident that all the bucks have shed, and we've walked through everything and checked things out. There's something that showed up on your camera the other day, Travis.
yeah, there was a side-by-side went through. Now, we didn't know who it was at first. We asked the landowner, and he didn't know who it was. But a couple of days went through. Dad actually figured out who it was, and it was someone that did have permission to be out there.
Okay.
So we did get that figured out. But
That's one tip I'll give you guys if you're dealing with trespassers. Highly recommend getting a cell camera and just leave that go. I know a lot of people take their cell cameras down right after the season's done, but I highly recommend, even if it's just one you have up on your property, get a solar panel, throw that camera up, and just keep it out there just for trespassing purposes, because there are people out there that aren't really thinking clearly and just deciding to go wherever they want to, either look for sheds or whatever. So, I highly recommend doing that. Obviously, we work with Tacticam, and those are the cameras that we use, and they do a great job, obviously getting great pictures of deer and whatnot, but also just keeping them out there for surveillance as well. Pete, do you leave your cameras kind of run a little while here yet? Or?
I usually see a lot of people that like muzzle loading at my land.
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but I think 3 years in a row now I've had someone muzzle loading. I've had them all the way in the back. You see, it's a single cab truck, 2 guys in there every year. They come through and they're in orange.
They just take the field road right down?
Yeah, they drive. They're all the way back. I've got them every year about a mile. Yeah, it's about a mile and a half in there.
Yeah.
So they drive in, and within 10 minutes, they come back out. And it's just always not enough to get a plate or
Yeah.
But
Mike, do you guys deal with trespassers? You got some properties that are right off the road.
Yeah, we got a couple. This year, it wasn't on our camera, but it was the neighbor's property, which we have permission to hunt as well. And there's 5 guys on camera walking through there.
Jeepers.
And as far as we know, none of them had permission. So, but otherwise, we keep our cameras up all year. You think about it, you got your deer season, and then you go look for sheds, and then one of my favorite seasons is right around the corner, so why not leave the cameras up for those turkeys?
Gobble.
So we know where those are at for the springtime. But we get more guys driving along the roads and stopping and, pulling out their binocs, and we even had a guy get up on top of his truck to look at deer down in the end of the field, and I'm sitting in the stand in orange. It's like, what are you doing? Like, first of all, you get to see the deer, but what do you plan on shooting them? I don't know what your plan is. I don't get it.
I gotta tell a story here, and the individual might be listening to this. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell a story. I'll leave your name out of it. But there was this deer that this guy was chasing, and it was in an area where there's a decent amount of people. And this thing was a Magnum, right? And it was showing itself, from the road. People could see it from the road driving by and stuff. And all of a sudden, he saw this deer out on the property that he had permission to hunt, and vehicles are just lined up watching whatnot. He takes his truck and just hauls ass right into the field to run that thing off the field. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's a tough part. I mean, when you got public roads that surround your property, it makes it difficult to, kind of keep things on the down low and then, keep people off your property and whatnot. But Last thing we'll talk about here real quick before we shut it down. We're going to go look for sheds here, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the podcast. But Travis, you guys have been out. You looked a little bit. You're maybe hauling some manure out in the field, whatever. What's your observations so far on deer that have died throughout the winter here?
It's looking really good, I think. I think one dead fawn I think is from this year. Typically, it's nothing for us to find 20 dead deer out on this. It's a big piece of property and deer winter out. I think we get a lot of deer from neighboring areas. So it's nothing for us to find a pile of deer. But I know for sure one that I think is from this year, but it's looking really good, actually.
Nice. Well, let's hope that holds true with, a lot more people going out and checking things out. I'm excited. This is fun. This is one of the days I look forward to every single year. As soon as it's done, I wish it, was right around the corner again. But you don't want to wish days by. But this is extremely exciting day. Kids have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. And let's get out there and go look for some sheds, eh?
Sounds good.
Do it.
Yep.
All right. We'll catch up with you guys here in a second. All right. We're back with you guys. We got a lot of controversy going on right now. And
chair over there,
we ran into some poachers. Here as we were out shed hunting. And
you're disqualified.
See it.
They're
See
completely disqualified.
Holy shit.
They're completely disqualified from the shed hunt this year in 2015. It is Mark, Ruckert, and Ben completely disqualified. It's not good. They went out of the boundaries. They went out of their boundaries and ended up finding the biggest shed that we were out here looking for. They were supposed to be in quadrant 1, I believe it was, and they completely abandoned
What a
the
tank.
premise.
A mass.
Whoever found it, get in here. Who found it? All three of you. Oh, you were all holding hands. They were in the side by side. Well, get on here. Get on here, Ruckert. Let's hear it. Get in here. Get in here, Toma.
All right.
Travis, grab this set here. Slide in here, Ben. You got to get in here where we can hear you a little bit. Over here, Ben. Slide over here on this chair. Travis, switch with Ben. Headsets.
We're good.
Or it don't matter. There we go. All right, Ben. So, first question I have for you here is, what led you to leave the premise that you were assigned to and trespass on your own property to find this shed? What led you to this point right now?
Well, actually, we were pretty done looking at our quadrant there, and we were going to head back here. Actually, was just on the phone with you, and we're going to head back to the shop for a bite to eat. And I was like, we'll drive through, cut through the Ranger Trail and take a peek, just for fun. So we're going through there, went past the food plot, and we're kind of coming through, and I looked to my left, and I'm like, no way. I just saw the tine sticking up. I was actually kind of speechless. I fling the Ranger door open and run out there quick, and of course we were all high-fiving and slapping hands and stuff, and sure enough, we're celebrating, and 20 feet away, there's another little half a little 8-pointer that Andrew found too.
Which one's that?
I think it's actually still in the.
Or is it that one right there? Right there.
Oh yeah, right there. Yep.
Holy buckets!
Just a little guy, but.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Yep.
Oh, this is the one Weston.
So illegally for this shed hunt, you found 2 sheds.
Yep.
Which has completely disqualified you from all prizes.
That's all right.
Today.
I'll take it. If I can find a shed like that, I'll be disqualified.
Wow. Give me the terrain. Where was Stubble Field, Woods? Where was it? Edge?
Right,
what was it?
Kind of on. It was actually in between the creek and the field, so kind of like open oaks. Right, kind of in between the field and the creek,
There you go.
right in the creek bottom.
Wow. Wow. We were coming back here to eat. Told everybody we're coming back, and these guys took a little roundabout, went a little off course here. And I told Mike beforehand, I said, hey, once we get back here, we're going to eat, and let's all go back out, and you get free range wherever you want to go. And I said, we're going to go north, which would have led us in that direction.
Yeah.
Guaranteed I would have found it. Guaranteed I would have found it.
I'm sure. Yep.
No, that is a heck of a deer. That's got good mass all the way out, everything. Sweet
It
deer.
is.
Pete, you guys ran into some action today.
Yep. One little one that I stepped on. So Chantel's got a video of that. We were trying to get Weston to find it, and I was videoing from behind, and I walked right on top of it. Heard it hit my boot. And then we got a pretty good side with the split.
What's the plan, Travis?
What's that?
Are we calling it a day or are we going back out? High stakes.
We'll see what Mama says, but we have a better idea now, I think. Well,
I
actually,
think
I wouldn't say we do. Because the shed the big one that they found was a shed that the video I got of this buck with the side missing is this side, which is a mile away, damn near. So where
the other side is?
I think, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
This buck, too, the one that Pete and Weston found, this one was on camera quite a bit, and that was quite a ways away, too.
That'd be a half a mile, right?
For sure, half a mile.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, we didn't find a whole lot of sheds, but we found a decent amount of inches worth of antler,
For sure.
no doubt. But now, how energized are you now, Ben, to find that other half?
I'm ready to walk. I'm ready to.
Why are we sitting here
I'm
right
going
now?
out there till dark now.
You'd almost think that you could go from where he's got the camera, though. That's almost a straight line, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
You don't know, but at least you got kind of an idea from where he's been feeding him to right behind your house would be that's a pretty big area.
Yeah.
But at least you got an opportunity.
Right. I've had him on camera. Actually, where I found the shed, about 100 yards away, that's where I first saw that deer on camera. It was actually, I think it was December 21st was the first day I had him on camera. It was about 100 yards away from where I found the shed. And then I also had him on camera a couple times in the Willows, which is kind of in between where Travis had him on camera with one antler and where I found the shed. So
here's the biggest question. Whose property was it on? Was it on your property? That's my question.
It actually was not.
Okay, now he's illegal. Definitely illegal. He's trespassing.
Yeah.
Did you ask the landowner if you could be on there?
I don't know.
Did you have permission?
That's a gray area. That's gray.
So this buck's name, though, I remember I named him. His name's Ben, this buck.
Oh, yeah.
Remember it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ben got the first picture of him end of December.
Yep.
So this is a buck I've never got on camera all year. So he's kind of showed up out of nowhere. You know, it's obviously I would consider him a stud. He's a decent.
Yep.
So we're calling him Ben. Kind of after.
Geez, here we go.
Ben that
Who's
first
married to this guy? Is it Hannah or Travis?
A stud
Hannah or
that
Travis?
showed up out of nowhere chasing a doe. So that's right.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
That poor guy. That poor deer.
They both ended up in the river bottom.
Yeah, they did.
That's where he'll die, hopefully, too.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what. What do you think, Travis? Should we go out for one last run and then come back and finish the podcast?
I think we got some time.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal, people. We're on the board right now. We got some good inches. I think here's what's in my mind right now. We go grab a little bite to eat. We celebrate a little bit. We go back out, and we got to leave a spot for Josh. We got to leave a spot for Josh. Josh and Ashley and the kids couldn't make it. Whatever that. We'll leave the Willows for them. Whatever. But let's go back out. You and a partner. Maybe it's 2v2v2v2. All right, okay.
Yep.
And we go out, and we go out for an hour, let's say, and then let's finish up the podcast after that. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
Should be able to find something, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I just it's one of those things right now. We know a couple good bucks have shed, and that's kind of what we're out here looking for right now. If we were looking for quantity, we'd probably wait a couple more weeks or so. But we're looking for quality right now, and that's what we've kind of found, and we're looking for the other half. So we'll catch up with you guys here in a little bit. We're going to grab a bite to eat, celebrate a little bit on the first half, but hey, it's overtime now, boys. It's
Right.
overtime. We got to
Right.
dig deep for this
That's
one.
right.
All right, we'll catch up with you guys in a little bit again. Thanks for listening. And we are back for the final portion of our 3-part podcast here right now. We went out this morning. We came in here. We had a little food. We went out. We found a couple sheds right at the last second. We had a few guys go off route a little bit and found one half of the buck we were looking for right at the last second. We came back here. We got a bite to eat, talked to you guys a little bit, and decided to go back out, and it did not take long, and we matched up the other half of the big buck. What do we call this one, Ben? You said we're calling this one Ben?
This buck is called Ben.
Ben. Big Ben.
Big Ben. I like that.
Big Ben. So, going back out there, Travis. Actually, let's start with Steve. Steve, what were your thoughts? Do you think we were going to find this other half here going back out here tonight?
I thought we would, but I thought it would be someplace else. I didn't think it was where you found it. I thought it'd be in the creek bottom.
Okay. Travis, what were your thoughts going out?
We didn't have a chance. From where we found that, or I didn't find it, Ben found that first shed, and where the picture was, where he was missing that shed, it didn't make any sense to me. So I had zero hope.
When we went out, my thought process. Well, I'll get to my thought process as last. Rucker, what was your thought process going into this? Let's
When you
ask
know, you know. When you know, you know. We went out there. We got down to business. Game was on the line, and we pulled through. I knew we would.
Winners find a way to win, baby.
They do. That's
When you're
exactly
good, you're
what
good.
we did.
Steve, you should know that. You're the one that taught us that line.
When you're good, you're good.
When you're good, you're good. So me going out there, I was talking to Mike in the truck on the way out there, and I was just like, you know what? I told Mike right there and then, I said, and going back to what we said earlier, if it weren't for you, Steve, and Travis allowing us to come out here, we wouldn't be doing this right now. It would be you guys, and you guys could find all the sheds by yourselves if you wanted to. It would take you longer, no doubt, to find these sheds, but to allow everyone to come out here with you guys and find the sheds, it means a lot to everybody. And we just built another memory here in the last 30 minutes. It's just amazing what you guys have done for so many people, Steve and Travis.
But it's like shooting a buck. Your first instinct is, I got to tell somebody. It's no fun by yourself.
It isn't.
You have to have people around you that share the same desire as yourself, I think.
You're 100% right, because even myself, I've hunted with you guys for so many years, and now I'm hunting up by my own property in different places. And a lot of times I'm hunting by myself, and it is not as fun. It is not fun at all compared to being with people, texting people, you seen anything, this and that, just kind of staying in the loop. All of a sudden you're out there by yourself and nobody else is out in the woods. It's kind of depressing to a certain point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not the same as what you could have.
Yeah, 100%. So my thoughts going out there, I was optimistic, but I wasn't optimistic to the point that we were actually going to find it. I knew we'd kind of be in the ballpark of where you'd be, but it could be anywhere, And like I told my wife Kaylee today, I said, now you know how our kids feel when they're out there looking for Easter eggs. They have no freaking clue where they are. And we're like, oh, why don't you go look over there a little ways, But they have no clue what's going on. Kind of like us going out shed hunting, but. Going out there, I was just like, you know what, let's just go have fun, and let's go try to find something. And we went out. I went to an area that I've found sheds before. I saw Rucker, Travis, and Mark kind of going into a different portion. I'm like, okay, we've walked that before. We haven't found a whole lot of sheds. I'm going to walk this edge here where I've found some sheds before. And I didn't know you guys were going to head west. I thought you guys were going north. I'm like, I ain't going to find anything north. They're going to be over here west. So I started walking west, And I was talking to Mike. Mike and I were kind of walking together. And I told Mike, like, pay attention to the sun. We're looking to the east, looking to the west. It's so much more difficult. I said, I'm going to walk here to the north, looking with the sun. You walk a little further to the west of me, looking with the sun, because you're going to see over your right shoulder a lot easier than I'll see over my left shoulder. And we were walking, and all of a sudden, hey, Joe, those guys are yelling in the woods. And we stopped. We waited. All of a sudden, I hear,
Well, I don't know what they're looking for over there.
The coyotes got him.
yeah. So all of a sudden, I heard some yelling, and I'm like, okay, this has got to be him. And I told Mike, I said, how nice would that be if we find this buck shed right now and just go back to the shed? The sun is still up as we're recording right now. I said, how cool would this be if we go back to the shed and find this shed buck here and head back there and have plenty of daylight left? And also we heard a bunch of people yelling, and it ended up being Rucker. Rucker ended up finding the other half. Let's hear the story. Let's hear it from beginning to end. Give us the detailed story here.
There's not much of a story. It's thick in there, some good pines. We know some deer travel in there, but like you said, not many sheds. Just picked the trail because there were so many thorns in there. I was sick of walking on them, to be honest. Moping around a little bit. Not going to lie, head down.
Feeling sorry for himself.
This is stupid. It's cold out.
I never find any sheds.
It just so happened, as I'm walking, my head down, 2 feet in front of me, the shed was laying there. And I picked up and said, Travis, I think I found the shed. That's it. I said, yeah, I do. I think it is too.
Tell us when. I mean, how many sheds do you figure you found in your lifetime?
Less than 10.
Less than 10. Okay, I've found plenty of them. Steve's found plenty of them. Travis found plenty of them. You still get that same feeling every single time when you find them. Explain that feeling that went through you when you saw that shed laying there.
I was pretty pumped up. One, it was the buck we were looking for, so I was excited. Two, we got to stop shed hunting for the day, so that's awesome.
You come back here in the warm shed.
But no, it's different for sure. Especially, like you said, when it's one that you're actually looking for. Catches you off guard.
100%. It's one of those things where you're sitting there just walking, and you see, whether it's leaves or sticks or trees or cattails or whatever, and you're just sitting there going, and all of a sudden something catches your eye, and you look, and you're almost in disbelief. Also, it's like, well, no, yeah. It's a shed. It's a shed.
That's exactly
it doesn't
how it
matter
went.
if it's a spike, if it's a fork, or if it's a whatever, a nice target shed that we're going after. All of a sudden you find that it's like you're just in shock for a moment. You're just in shock, and then all of a sudden reality hits.
But it's cool when it's as heavy as you hoped it was and is the real deal.
Yeah.
It's not a spindly 3-year-old. Like, they all look spindly now after you find a heavy one, but that makes it cool.
Well, Travis, we've had bucks before that we found sheds to that we thought were a lot bigger than what they actually were.
Most of them are that way, except for these big ones like this that actually, they're kind of what we thought they were, Even this other buck we found today, he was on camera, he looked pretty bigger than what he actually is, I would say, That's the way a majority of the deer we find are, I think.
But you find one side, they look small. You find both sides and put them together.
Yeah.
They grow about 20% right now.
Oh, yeah. There was one buck, I kid you not. I mean, I've seen a lot of trail camera pictures, then you see the deer dead and this and that. That one 10-pointer you had on camera that one year looked like a 150-inch buck, and then we found his sheds, and he wasn't even 100 inches.
No, yeah. That buck alone made me second guess every trail cam picture I've ever seen, I think.
It was bad. It was
Well,
bad.
That Jayden Dorn shot that one year. That was their biggest buck in the Willows that 1 year. 120 maybe.
Max,
and he was a big boy. And but once he was on the ground, like, what happened to him? That was way bigger,
Has that ever happened to you, Andrew Ruckert? Have you ever shot a buck and you thought he was going to be bigger than what he was?
I mean, I shot a doe and it was bigger than I thought it was. I've been there. But what do you do,
Well, you gotta
Crops are being ate around here.
You gotta manage the herd. You gotta manage the herd every now and then.
But the bigs are big, and everybody else is great, but they're not the bigs, you know.
Well, you guys knew this guy was pretty good size coming into this, did you not?
Yeah, I thought he was big, but I really wanted to get my hands on him to see just what he was. He's all of what I kind of figured he was. He's no super giant, but he's bigger than anything that's typically around
Well,
here.
I thought that first picture I said 160.
You remember when we got that first
Yep.
picture, how pumped up we all were?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Ben,
Oh, yeah.
ben
No.
almost quit working. Yeah,
Looking at the shed right now, this other side, I bet he didn't drop too long ago. There's still blood on there.
on there. And
well, we know when he dropped pretty much.
Yeah. No, I'm putting my fingers around him right now.
He wasn't really that close either to the other shed.
No.
No.
Well, okay, so Travis, kind of explain the travel path that he took so people can line this up in their minds when they think, okay, Big Buck dropped one side. It's got to be really close. Kind of explain the timeline on when he dropped first side and where he ended up dropping his second side.
So, if I remember right, so I pulled the card on the February 13th. February 12th, got a picture of them, both antlers on. The next day, February 13th, he was missing his right side, the 5-point side. He had blood on his, it's coming down his skull. It's
I
like,
never seen that before like that either.
no,
Yeah, it's bleeding pretty good.
he in my mind, that shed was laying within 100 yards of that picture. But it was like 20 below those couple days there. So now that we're seeing this, we're thinking that it was froze on his head. So from where that picture was to where Ben found his first shed today was basically a mile straight north of there. And now where we found the second shed was basically halfway in between.
About 500 yards.
Right around there. I mean, so he dropped the first shed a mile north, was on picture with his left side still on yet, then back to the north is where he dropped his left side now. And it's...
So what would you say a total distance was where he dropped and then went back to the camera? And who knows where he went in between before he went back to the camera? And then when he dropped again, what? Let's just say he dropped, went to the camera, and went right back to
So where he dropped to camera was a mile, had the one side on. Then where he, from that picture to where we found it now is a half mile. So, I mean, and that's not counting what's in between. So it's for sure a mile and a half plus probably quite a bit, I would assume.
whatever he veered off.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of amazing, actually.
It is. Like I said, this is a extremely exciting, fun time of year for me to come out here and shed hunt with you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming out here. I hope you guys can pick up something from this podcast. Travis explaining how far this deer was. I mean, this is a heavy deer. I mean, I want to put this guy on the scale and see how much each side weighs here, and combine, because a guy thinks, if a buck is pretty heavy, if he drops one side, he's going to try to work that other side off. And in reality, I mean, you're close to 2 miles here, if not more. So if you own a small piece of property, you find one side of a big shed. You could find matching sets, but at the same time, it could be a couple miles away. You just never know. But it was a great day today. Steve, thanks for having us out here. Travis, thanks for having us out here. Rucker, you lucky son.
When you're good, you're good. Luck had nothing to do with it.
Hold these sheds up here real quick for the people watching on YouTube here. See how good these guys are.
Show the backside. We're bigger from the back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what they all say,
Yes,
Steve.
they do. Yes, they do.
But no, great day today. Thanks again for having us out here. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast here. Rucker's trying to blow things up here.
Shut it off.
Yeah, we're done. It's time. Thanks for watching, you guys. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Until next time, take care. We'll see you later. And there you have it. Pretty exciting podcast, to say the least. We had a lot of fun every year. It's a great time. I look forward to it already again next year. But yeah, thanks for listening, you guys. Just wanted to remind you that we do have a merchandise/apparel shop online. If you go to our Facebook page or any of our social media pages, our website, we'll have that link in there for you if you're looking for something with Minnesota Rackstars apparel. Also with that, just want to thank all of our partners, Arctic Shield, Domain Outdoor, J&R Outdoors, Skullcraft, The Fish Guy, Tacticam, and Fourth Arrow Camera Arms. I hope you guys are having a great start to the spring here. I think it's spring. Whatever. It's warming up. It's spring to me. And I hope you guys find some sheds. And I hope you are having a great day. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it.